change we've seen in Eddie Islas over the past few months.
The bell has sounded. You know, I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to come see the last match. Matthias, he ended it so quickly. I literally came back to the broadcast booth. The music was playing again. I had to go right back out there.
Matthias definitely been on a machine-like efficiency with his matches, ending them in such short order that barely introductions are out. But here in the ring, we've got the straight-edge devil, Eddie Islas, as he now, I think, is more appropriately called, and the Radiant Sun, Jake Redondo.
Play on words, as in the audience even we have the Radiant One, Jason Redondo, looking on as his son makes him proud. As Jake Redondo, wow, going a little bit dirty there, making fun of and even slapping the face of the straight edge devil, Eddie Islas.
Jake Redondo just dishing out what he's receiving from Eddie Islas. Already the disrespect shown to Jake Redondo by Eddie Islas.
Nice arm drag there by the Radiant One. As Eddie Islas back in the corner, charging in, up and over goes Jake Redondo. Going in for the shoulder, nabbed up. Onto the apron, or onto the rope, goes Eddie Islas. And coming back in is the Radiant One, or the Radiant Sun, excuse me. Jake Redondo is quickly becoming a fan favorite here at SoCal Pro.
Bears such resemblance to his dad, used his own nickname. Jake Redondo always looking like he's just floating, like gravity forgets him sometimes.
Very athletic is Jake Redondo. Let us not forget that Jake Redondo was the person responsible for ending the undefeated streak of Joey Lancaster. And that is probably one of multiple accomplishments that he will have here as he fares very well here at SoCal Pro.
Don't let Joey Lancaster hear you say that.
Well, I'm trusting that Joey Lancaster is probably too busy writing his next entrance, as we will be back here in March. And we know it's going to take him a little while to write it all. As down goes Jake Redondo. Of course, March date is over in the San Diego Sports Arena with the San Diego Gulls. You can see a lot of action with SoCal Pro. I'm trying to be able to get the job of announcing on the ice. I might be able to do that.
That's going to be really hard with all the hockey players playing around you.
Yeah, it would happen before, see. Before, yeah. It might even be this week. So I'll announce them, and then they'll come to the building in a couple days, and then they'll have a game, see.
Isn't that just loitering?
And Jake Redondo hitting the buckle. In goes Eddie Islas, big back elbow. Eddie Islas, the more experienced of the two, the more sinister of the two. Another person who has definitely changed his tune. Oh my goodness. As Eddie Islas, of course, just a few months ago, turning his back on the mighty Tortuga. And that slap left a lot.
And I've been on the receiving end of these chops from Eddie Islas, and now with this new attitude, it looks like he's holding nothing back with those chops that were already vicious and he was already known for.
Eddie Islas now on the advantage. Chucking Jake Redondo out.
Unceremoniously dumping him out of the ring. And that just goes to show the disrespect that Eddie Islas has had and gained, not just for his opponent, but for the SoCal Pro fans, as you can hear them get behind Jake whenever he connects with a hit on Eddie Islas.
And of course the disdain when Eddie Islas returns the favor. And Eddie Islas back in control. More vicious chops onto Jake Redondo. This young man has a bright future ahead of him, and I will say possibly he's even picked, might be a fight that might be just a little bit too high caliber for him, as Eddie Islas, again, a former champion, a very decorated superstar here at SoCal Pro.
He's definitely shooting for the stars. Eddie Islas, don't forget, is a two-time Golden State champion in his own right.
Only a count of two as Jake Redondo kicks out, much to the chagrin of Eddie Islas. I think he said dos. I'm not sure what that means. Perhaps he's calling out the Caliente guys again.
Well, you did get a Spanish lesson during the introduction there.
Big headbutt, those horns meeting the brain of Jake Redondo, setting him back up. Perhaps we'll see now the snapmare elbow to the, perhaps the shoulder flex. Oh my goodness, and a big knee to the forehead. And again, Eddie Islas is not somebody who is shy to break a rule here or there.
And Eddie Islas, not only shy to not break a rule, not shy to injure his opponent, as he's become so much more vicious over the past few months that he actually looks like, instead of trying to win the match, he's trying to hurt the other person.
Yeah, it appears that Eddie Islas might still be a little bit sour from the fact that he came up short last month with the Mighty Tortuga. That could be it. It could be the fact that he has just given up on the fact of trying to be such a fan favorite. I'm not entirely sure what is going on with this young man, but I would dare to say that it's very unfortunate that he threw away all of this admiration so he can possibly get ahead.
Possibly get ahead, but you can't argue that since this change, this shift in attitude, Eddie Islas has definitely looked more dominant than ever before.
Kicking out just with a fraction to go for a 3 count at that big sideways slam as Eddie Islas, wow. As it was very typical for Eddie Islas in the past to throw out his bandana to supportive fans, now dropping it onto the apron as a sign of disrespect.
He didn't just drop it, but we're not gonna show an instant replay of that gesture.
Jake Redondo now coming back as Eddie Islas charges in to be met with the back elbow. Coming back in, catches the boot. The kangaroo dropkick, down goes Eddie Islas. Baseball slide, catches Eddie Islas, trips him up. And a big enziguri to the head of Eddie Islas. Looks a little bit dazed and confused. Can the Radiant Sun capitalize here as he goes for a big back, perhaps down goes Eddie Islas.
Dazed and confused, but Matthew McConaughey can't help you here.
As Jake Redondo sizes Eddie Islas, oh no, of course. And Eddie Islas again, taking whatever way he could possibly go to get out. But up goes Jake Redondo down to the floor.
Jake Redondo only recently debuted to SoCal Pro Wrestling, but I think you can already call that vintage Jake Redondo, as we've seen him fly many a time here. And as he goes up to the top rope one more time, something big.
Big high cross body goes down. Jake Redondo back with a cover. 1, 2. Only a count of 2. Again, we talked about that tenacity of Eddie Islas. You're not going to put him away even with an impressive move such as a high cross body. You definitely need something a little bit more impactful there to put away this newfound devil image of Eddie Islas.
But sometimes it's not about winning. Sometimes those big moves that lead into pinfalls are all about turning the tide of momentum, just like Eddie Islas did now.
Beautiful cutter by Eddie Islas from out of nowhere. Count of 2, kicked out barely. Jake Redondo. As Jake Redondo can feel the victory of this match perhaps slipping between his fingers as Eddie Islas prepares for his next methodical move. What are we going to see here?
I believe he calls this the near-death experience.
And near as it could possibly get without making contact. Jake Redondo countering that, going perhaps the suplex DDT here. And no, what is this now? Joey Lancaster's there. Why is Joey Lancaster here?
Why do you think, my dude? Just like last month.
No! Oh my God!
Joey Lancaster sticking his nose where it doesn't belong.